A dying cat was discovered lifeless amid piles of trash. But before we see what happened next, let's give a huge shout out to How's Paws for sharing this soul-touching story on their channel. This story is about the little cat who was found close to death. Buried under piles of trash, she was taking her last breaths. The question arises, how could someone neglect a living creature like this? The little cat was more than just stuck. She was fighting for her life. The sight of her weakness haunts the heart. When all hope seemed lost, a miracle happened. There he was, a kind individual, walking past the dump site when a faint sound stopped him. Hesitantly, he edged closer. The sight was enough to break anyone's heart. What was once a lively cat was now struggling for survival. He knelt gently and carefully scooped her into a soft animal carrier. First, he tried to check for any sign of movement. When all attempts yielded no response, he quickly rushed to the vet. On the way, the cat showed no signs of movement. Her faint breathing, though weak, was the only whisper of hope. Once they arrived at the clinic, she was immediately rushed for a medical examination for quick aid. While examining, the reality of her condition became painfully clear. Her legs were found stiff. She must have been dehydrated, who knows for how long. They rushed to get fluids into her tiny body to regain her lost strength. But just when you thought the situation couldn't get worse, the vet discovered a heartbreaking fact. The cat was battling breast cancer. This diagnosis made her treatment even more complicated. The misery didn't end there. This discovery will just shock you. During an echocardiogram, the vet found a tumor in her uterus. That made her too weak for any surgery. Procedures like a mastectomy or a hysterectomy were out of the question. Despite the grim outlook, the vet refused to give up. They couldn't insert a needle directly into her veins as they were too delicate. Instead, they chose to give her fluids under her skin. When they gently gave her some water, something amazing happened. She woke up. Given her delicate health, the vets agreed that she would thrive best in a home environment where her needs would be attentively met. With each passing day, she got a little better. Feeding her with a syringe started as just a way to help her eat, but became a special way to show her love and care, making her feel valued. After 10 days of dedication, they finally reached their milestone. She started to feed herself and took her first tentative steps. Despite the progress, surgery was necessary to remove the cancer and the tumor. Despite this looming shadow, she was no longer just a lifeless figure discarded in the trash. Her story was about courage, hope, and the incredible power of dedicated care and love. Let's get into another shocking incident with a similar story. But will our little kitten be able to survive that? Before starting, let's give a huge shout out to Animal Care Haven for sharing this truly inspiring story. It began with a daughter's simple observation. A kitten, barely a whisper of life, found in a trash can stuck in a glue trap. Their initial challenge was to delicately release the kitten from its adhesive bonds. She was stuck tight, making it difficult to release. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, the women realized the poor soul had lost much of its fur to the trap. It was a battle between getting the glue off and hurting the already scared creature. Despite these hurdles, hard work paid off. The kitten was free. To ensure that she didn't lick the glue stuck on her body, a cleverly designed headgear was fitted over her head. For a while, she moved around, following a family that saved her life. But she could not be left alone in this state. Consulting a vet was important. Upon reaching, they started wiping her body with vegetable oil, a natural remedy known to dissolve glue with ease. Remarkably, the kitten showed an admirable spirit of cooperation throughout the process. Within a few minutes, the stickiness that once clung to her was all gone. The next step was crucial, a thorough cleansing to ensure no trace of glue remained. They applied a shampoo and gave her a proper bath. After going through a day filled with discomfort and distress, it was heartwarming to see the kitten receiving the care she desperately needed. She was dried thoroughly and later placed in a drying box. After a short while, she finally slept. Seeing her sleeping peacefully was definitely a sigh of relief for those who struggled to bring her back to normality. Since it was getting colder, they wrapped her in a cozy cloth to compensate for her fur that had been majorly lost in this tragedy. Can you imagine how she felt, being enveloped in warmth by the love of a family she was beginning to call her own? Soon she found a place in their hearts, following the woman with a loyalty born of gratitude and love. They included her in their lives, a gesture that spoke volumes of their growing bond. Imagine developing a bond where she is contentedly following everywhere like a constant shadow. Cute, isn't it? After a period of 2 weeks, there has been a significant development in the kitten's health. She was no longer weak, but there was definitely some trace of glue that needed some consideration. Her baths became more than just a cleaning ritual. They were moments of connection, of care that went beyond the physical. Each gentle wipe, each careful drying, was a message of love. And then the spa treatments, the nail care. Weren't these acts of kindness that spoke of a bond deeper than just a rescue? They named the little kitten Nianian, marking a new beginning in her life. Reflecting on the past month, it was hard to believe that just a month ago, she was a scared kitten stuck in sticky trash. Unbelievable, right? Her journey from vulnerability to confidence showed a remarkable transformation. Nianian's story, starting from a scary moment in a trash can to finding a family that loves her, it all shows us how strong and brave even the smallest ones can be. This tale isn't just about Nianian. It is a lesson for us all about giving hope and finding the strength to overcome tough times. Think about it. A tiny kitten, scared and alone, finds a new life full of happiness and love. That's a powerful message, isn't it? It shows us the magic that happens when we open our hearts and help those in need. Nianian's adventure from being alone to being loved is a beautiful example of how everyone deserves a second chance. A heartfelt thank you and boundless love to everyone who played a part in making this journey not just memorable, but truly extraordinary. They will always be remembered for setting a strong example. Did you like these unforgettable stories of 2 brave kittens? Want to hear more of them? Share your thoughts about this act of kindness in the comments. And if you love cat rescue videos, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.